Hey y'all, welcome back to the Roads Less Traveled on another Trail Camera Tuesday. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing this solar-powered Wi-Fi trail camera by VIDVIS. Alright y'all, so before we get started on this one, just got to let you know, VIDVIS sent me this trail camera. That being said, it's still going to be an honest and thorough review, just like always. So real quickly here, let's just go over some of the advertised specs on the box. So it's a 4K 4K 64 megapixel camera. It has night vision, it has Wi-Fi / Bluetooth. It's a PIR sensor, which they all do. It has a 0.2 second trigger speed. Motion detection, obviously, has loop recording, and it's waterproof. It's also solar powered. This is the SVTC QSW model, 90-degree lens angle, 70-degree PIR sensor. It can sense movement up to 70 feet, and so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and let's open this thing up and let's see what's in the box. So we have a quick start guide. We have a user manual. We have our trail camera. We have a strap, the USB to USB-C charging cable, and some mounting hardware. Let's take a little bit closer look at our camera here. So it has a bunch of protective film on the front, so make sure you peel that off before you use it. There it is. It's a nice small size trail camera. I like that because it kind of helps it be more concealable. It's not as easy to be seen by either wildlife or people. The solar panel is just built right on top there, so you don't have to worry about trying to mount it separately. That's one of my biggest gripes with cameras that come with the independently mounted solar panel is it's just a hassle. And I understand it's probably better. You can probably most conditions position that in a way that it can get better sun than the camera's location, but it's just a pain, especially if you're trying to run these on public land or somewhere where you don't really want that large profile in addition to the camera. It does have a little hole here on the side where you can lock the door. You open it up. It's got a nice size LCD screen and a series of buttons. This camera does come with a micro SD card, and it is 32 gigs. It is the VIDVIS brand. Your power button is on the bottom here. You have an off, a test, and on. There's also a little LCD there that shows you if the camera is being charged by the sun. Currently it is red, which means it is working. I did not bring batteries out here for this, so we're just going to use the built-in battery and the solar panel. You should probably charge this up at your house to make sure it's got a full charge before you go out in the woods, but I'm just going to rely on the charge it already has and hope the solar panel is able to bring it up to a full charge. So I'm going to come around and get behind the camera and we'll go through our very first power on sequence. All right, y'all, here's our camera. Let's go ahead and swap it over to the setup mode. There we go, it powered on. So the first thing that we want to do here is we'll just go to our menu and look through all of our settings. So our mode is motion detection. Delay is 30 seconds, that's fine. You could set a work time if you want to. I'm going to leave that off. Photo or video, we're going to do both. Photo resolution, let's go the highest possible for the test. Later we may want to bring that down just to conserve space on our memory card. Video, let's go 4K, again highest possible. Photo burst, just 1. Video length, 10 is okay. Audio recording is on. Detection delay is 30 seconds. PIR sensitivity, middle is fine. Motion filter is off. Motion test. So this is where you can test, if the camera's picking up on movement. Seems like it is. light field distance is far. We could set a camera name, Wi-Fi LED. We can set our date and time. So today is June 14th at 4:35. So let's go 6, oops. I don't know if you noticed there, but you use the up and down arrows to change the date, and there's this little side arrow to go over. So 6/13/2025 at 4. Is this military time? It is military time. So we'll go 16:36 now. Seconds, you can move that if you want to. And then menu to exit. Our date format is month, day, year. Time format is 24 hours, that's fine. Date stamp is on. Loop recording is on, so it'll overwrite that SD card if it gets full. Memory card format, yes, we always want to format our memory card. It says format success. Language, you could choose a different language if you need to. You can protect it with a password. You can do a factory reset. You can see your version information. And there's the app QR code there, which we will use here in just a second. All right, y'all, so we ran through the settings on the camera itself. Now let's get into the app and see what it looks like. So I found my app QR code in the settings of the camera itself. I've got my camera on my phone set up here. I'm just gonna hover over that, and then that should take us where we need to go. All right, guys, so I had to run back up to the house and get some Wi-Fi because my signal's so poor out here, I couldn't actually get my app store to load. Once I had good signal, I was able to scan that QR code, and it took me right to the app store. So the app this camera uses is actually the Trail Camera Go app, which I already have installed from another couple cameras that I have. If you don't have this app, just scan that QR code, go to your app store, download it. You may have to create an account and do all that stuff, but since this is just a Wi-Fi only camera, there is no cost for a data plan or anything like that. The downside to that, of course, is that you can only access the pictures off of this camera when you're within Wi-Fi range. It's just like your home Wi-Fi network. When you get too far away, it's not going to work. So within our Trail Camera Go app here, we're just going to go up to the plus button and we're going to say add device. This is a Wi-Fi camera. It says to put it in the on mode, but we're in test mode. I'm going to leave it in test mode and see if that works. We'll say next. It found the camera right off the bat, so that's great. So we're going to say connect to the camera. And on my camera now, it says that the app is connecting. Then it pops up and wants to join its Wi-Fi. So we'll join the Wi-Fi. And there we go. So we're going to set this camera's name. We're just going to call it VIDVIS. VIDVIS, and that's the brand. And we'll confirm it. And now we should be able to click on that camera we just added. We can see that its battery level is 100% and it is actively charging. We can see our memory card information, temperature, its last update, all of its model stuff. We can go to the camera to see a preview. There you are. That's really handy for when you're setting these cameras up to make sure you're looking exactly what you want to look at. We can go to the gallery. Of course, there's nothing yet. And also those same settings we looked at within the camera, you can also access here from the app. I'm not going to go through all those again, but you can if you want to. If you prefer, you can just set them from the phone through the app and not ever have to mess with clicking through all those menus on the camera. This thing's all set up and ready to go. Let's get it out in the woods and get it on tree. All right, y'all, so we got our camera on the tree here. This is a little bit different spot than I typically use. It's kind of a corner of an old food plot. Seem to have a lot of deer moving to this area, so hopefully we'll be able to capture them with this camera. I want to go ahead real quick and let's connect to the app and make sure it's aimed the way we want it before we leave it. Okay, so we're within our app. I'm just going to click on our VidViz camera, see if we can go to the camera. We have to tap to reconnect. and then wait for it to go through that process. Shouldn't take too long. We'll join it. All right, here we go. We got our live preview. I'm going to shut the camera, and then let's just kind of adjust it so I can just see that little mode corner of this little trail here, and hopefully we're going to get some good pictures and videos. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think that'll work. So let's go ahead. Let's disconnect from our app. Let's power it on. It says its mode is motion detection. We'll close it. The only thing left to do is I'm going to toss some corn out real quick, and then we're going to wait a week or two, come back, pull the SD card, take a look at the pictures and videos, and then we'll have some final thoughts and impressions. All right, y'all, our VIDVIS trail camera has been out for approximately 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and pull it down, take it back inside, get the SD card out of it, and show y'all some example videos and pictures. There you go. You've seen some pictures and videos. What do y'all think? I've got a few thoughts and observations, and I think we'll start with the cons first, so that way we can end this thing on a positive note, because this camera does have some positive features. So as far as cons go, as I was going through those pictures and videos, there's a couple of things that I noticed. It's a little bit concerning, honestly. Number one is the color of the images and videos. For some reason, I was getting a green hue in a lot of the pictures and videos, for that matter. So much so, and it's really only noticeable. It's really only at night, or excuse me. It's really only during the daytime, because that's when you're taking color pictures. The nighttime pictures look fine, but during the daytime pictures, there was just a green hue. I mean, even the deer, I guess it was really noticeable on them. A lot of the browns on them, they looked almost like a mottled color, like a green and brown mottled color. And obviously these deer aren't green or don't have hues of green, but the way this camera sensor was picking up, you know, certain browns in the deer's coat made it look like green. And I'm not sure what's causing that. It has to just do with the sensor, I'm sure. I don't know if there's any settings that you can go in and adjust, but you shouldn't have to, in my opinion. Another thing I noticed is at nighttime, the photo quality was kind of poor. And I think I know why. I think that it has to do with the shutter speed, because you're trying to take a picture of a moving target. I mean, animals never stand still and pose for a trail camera, so they're always moving a little bit. So because of that, and if that shutter speed isn't very quick on these photos, it's taking a longer exposure, then it's going to make the photos not look that great if your subject is moving. The videos, on the other hand, the videos look pretty good. At night, that is. Now, are they what I would expect for 4K? I don't know. I'm gonna leave that up to y'all to decide. The third con that I noticed is, for some reason, some of my photos did not process all the way. I would get photos that were only halfway processed. Like the bottom portion of the picture would be grayed out, like it didn't fully write the photo to the SD card. I don't know if that's an SD card issue, because it very well could be. Has something to do with the write speed or whatever. I did have this camera set on photo plus video, so it was taking a photo and then immediately taking a video, or vice versa. So maybe there's an issue with that camera would take the photo, it wouldn't be finished writing that photo to the SD card, and then it would start writing or taking the video and then need to write that to the SD card as well, and it just kind of aborted the process. Maybe that's what was going on. I'm not 100% sure. However, it's not something you like to see in your trail cameras. That's pretty much it for the cons. Now, those things are, while they did happen, they're not ultimate deal breakers. They don't completely ruin this camera. I think the camera worked, as far as triggering, very well. I mean, it seemed like I got lots of pictures of all sorts of critters, different sizes. I did have quite a few false triggers from the wind, but there were some pretty windy days. However, I do think the camera works very well as far as picking up movement. Also, if y'all watch some other reviews, you know that I really like solar power trail cameras with built-in batteries, and y'all, this one is no exception. I mean, having that built-in solar panel and that built-in battery, it's just great. You don't have to worry about purchasing AA batteries. You don't have to worry about this camera dying on you in the field. I mean, how many times have you went out to pick up a camera that's been out for a few months, only to realize your batteries went dead after the first couple weeks because some reason, maybe they weren't fully charged when you put them out, maybe it had a bunch of false triggers and it just ran that battery dead, or just whatever happened. We have bad batteries, but the camera quit taking pictures a long time before you ever picked up. Well, these cameras, you don't have to worry about that as much. I mean, it's pretty much can run itself indefinitely as long as you're getting some sun on that camera, so that is great. Also like the size of this camera. I like the way the solar panel is built into it. I mean, it's still a pretty small package, so it's going to be a lot harder to see from the deer and people. You like to try to hide these cameras the best you can, and this one makes it a little bit easier because it's got a smaller profile. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a blessed day, and remember to take the roads less traveled.